What's going on, guys? Decoration Dude here. Today I'm filming a video I've been wanting to make for a while. As of a few months ago, I finally completed what some would consider the Gemmy full-sized horror character collapsible series. I have all of them right here. I've actually kind of made a circle around me in my living room. But I figured now would be the easiest time to film this since I have them all up for my Halloween display. Now, I consider this part of a couple of my collections. It's part of my Gemmy collapsible or classic Gemmy character collection, which honestly, I almost have just about every classic Gemmy character. There's just a few I'm missing. One of the main ones would be Count Vigor, which I'm actually probably going to be getting one today. But there's also the horror character collection and the Gemmy licensed character collection. Now I have the complete horror character collection here, the collapsibles. The licensed collection, if you want to get all the licensed ones, I know there's like a Crypt Keeper. That was the original Gemmy life-size, quote-unquote. It's not really life-size, it kind of sits in a chair. And then there's like 3 versions of the Wicked Witch of the West and several others, but I have all the horror characters. This has been a goal of mine for several years now, and I've been actually very, very lucky to have been able to find all these relatively easily, but I have them all here. They've all been restored by me. They all fully work except the Leatherface. When I first got him, his body was not working. I put a new motor in, it didn't work. I tried a different motor, it started working, and then it went out again. So recently I tried to put another motor in them and it didn't work. So I know these guys have a really common board issue for the body turn. I'm gonna try one more motor, and if that doesn't work, it's probably fried, unfortunately. But I mean, if you take the motor out of the mechanism, it still spins. It's just not strong enough to turn them, especially with all the weight of the chainsaw. And as well as another kind of issue with them is this chainsaw blade sags. It's not the original blade. Those are also very notorious on snapping because they get very brittle over time. But yeah, I have all the characters here. This is the first year I've been able to do, well, actually I take that back. Last year, on the haunt, we had all the characters out on the porch, but the pinhead in that video was not mine. That was Zach's. So now I can finally say that I have all the horror characters in my own collection. So yeah, I'll just go over them, kind of give a brief explanation of how I got them. I'm not going to do any demos in this video because you've seen all these on my channel before. I've uploaded videos of each and every one of them. But we got Boris here. I got him last year in July off someone in one of the Gemmy groups. When I first got him, his arms weren't working, so I had to go in there and replace the gears for that. Only issue with him right now is that his jacket's a little faded, but honestly, it's not that bad compared to some that I've seen. Up next, we have Ghostface. I've actually had 3 of these. This is the second one I've owned. The other ones I have sold. This one does have the phone. And by the way, all these characters except the Leatherface have the original box. I'll probably show the boxes at the end of this video, but they're downstairs right now. But here's Ghostface. I got this one in a lot with Hannibal, Freddy, and Michael. And I ended up keeping this one over my original Ghostface because it was in better condition. But he fully works, nothing wrong with him. Up next, we got Jason. I got this one at a garage sale. When I got him, his eye was the only thing that needed to be repaired, so I put a new gear in that. He's fully working. I think I paid like $100 or $150 for him at a garage sale, which is a pretty good deal. And weirdly enough, something that was very interesting about this Jason is for some reason he came with 2 hands and 2 machetes. So I ended up selling the other hand and machete on eBay because I figured someone probably had a Jason that was missing that. And yeah, someone did buy it. So luckily I was able to help someone else complete their Jason. Up next, we got Rob Zombie Michael. I got this guy and a lot with my original Ghostface. I drove probably about 3.5 hours to go get this guy. He's fully working. Nothing really wrong with him, in great shape. Up next, we got Hannibal Lecter. Like I said, I got him in a lot with Ghostface, Freddy, and Michael. I drove probably about 4 hours for that lot, but it was worth it. There was also another Jason in that lot, but I sold it. I don't have that one anymore, and another Ghostface. That's how I got my third Ghostface, but I no longer have those items. He fully works. When I got him, the body turn was fried, and there was like a split gear in the eyes, I believe. So I fixed the eyes with just a 9-tooth gear in the eyes, and then the body had a resistor that needed to be replaced on the board, and I replaced that, and he's been fully working ever since. So he's really cool. He definitely has, excuse me, the highest quality costume out of all these guys. This is like a real, whatever you call it, restraining suit or something. I forgot the name of it, but I mean, this is really good quality. Up next, we have the original Gemmy 6-foot character, the 2005 variant of Freddy Krueger. I got this one last year off Mercari for maybe like $200 something. It was not a bad deal at all, especially considering he was fully working with the box. He's in great shape. Now, this is the original horror character, or a collapsing horror character that Gemmy made. He also doesn't have a purple button like the rest of these characters do, because he's an 05. And honestly, he doesn't have much motion. He just moves his head, eyes, and mouth, but he's still pretty cool. Up next, we have the remake version of the Freddy. Now, I got this one in the lot, like I said previously. This one has a lot of movement. This one has the most movement out of any of these characters. He has mouth movement, eye movement, body turn movement, head movement. His arm moves up and down, and his glove, the fingers on his glove move. So he's just loaded with all sorts of movements. And I mean, honestly, they did a really good job on this one. They definitely did a better job with the mask and everything on this one compared to this one. But I can't hate on this one because it's the original. Up next, we have Pinhead. This was the last character I needed to complete the collection. I got him in April or May of this year. I got him off a collector in one of the groups. They made a post with a whole bunch of stuff they were selling, and originally they didn't want to ship, but after a while, no one was willing to buy it locally, and they're like, okay, well, I'll ship. So they shipped it to me. He still has all the pins on his head. I don't know how that happened through shipping, but he still does, which is crazy. When I got him, his mouth had a split gear, so I had to replace that. But other than that, he's fully working, and he's in great cosmetic shape, especially because, you know, all the pins are still intact, which is pretty crazy because there's a lot of them, and they are not strong at all. They're very flimsy. But yeah, there's Pinhead. He moves his mouth, eyes, head, and his box lights up. Up next, we have H2O Michael Myers. I got this one in the lot that I mentioned previously. When I got him, I'm pretty sure he was fully working. I don't think I've ever had to do any repairs to this one. The only thing I've had to work on him with was cosmetically. As you can kind of tell, his mask, like right here and right here, it's blue because it was stored in the box, like rubbing up against his jumpsuit. So over time, it kind of wore off on the mask. I did my best to try to remove it and cover it up with some white paint, but you can still kind of see it. But it's not a big deal. He still fully works, and honestly, that's what matters most to me. But yeah, there's Michael. Up next, we have Jason. This was my first Gemmy horror character. I don't know if any of you, or if anyone remembers the video, I should say, of this guy, but I got him maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, and it was when I went and picked up this huge Halloween lot locally. I mean, it was huge. It was about 3 truck loads of stuff, and I got all sorts of stuff. This was the only horror character in that lot, and my first horror character, like I mentioned. But when I got him, he was fully working. The only thing I had to, actually he wasn't fully working. The only thing I had to do repairs on were the body turn, and that was it. And if you don't know, I mean, these Jimmy Jasons, they are like tanks. They like never break. They're always fully working, unless it's the variant with the belt-driven arm mech. That one's kind of faulty, but other than that, I mean, these things just seem to last a lot longer than all the other characters. But yeah, like I was saying, I got this guy in a huge lot. Some of the other cool things I got in that lot would be obviously this guy. I got a bone collector, 2 Guardians of the Grave, and something you really don't see every day I got out of that lot was the Spirit Halloween zombie baby merry-go-round. I got that. I've never used it, but I do have it still. Up next, and lastly, we have my favorite character, Leatherface. Like I mentioned earlier, his body is having issues, but other than that, he fully works. I have a new chain on the chainsaw. His apron, it's kind of creased in some areas because they crease very easily. I got this guy. I had to drive quite a far ways for this guy, but and I actually ended up paying more than I wanted to, but it was worth it to me because honestly, this one's really hard to find, especially in good condition like this one is. Now, his head is like tilted down a little bit. It was like, I guess it was displayed in a window or something where the sun hit it, and it kind of melted his face over time. I've tried my best to try to like mold it back into shape with hitting it with a heat gun and stuff, but honestly, I think it kind of looks cool like this. His face is just a little bit deformed, and honestly, I think it makes it look scarier and more accurate to the movie. But yeah, there's Leatherface. I'm sure you guys have seen my video on this one and heard my story about how the guy who sold this to me had monkeys jumping around his house and like all over his animatronics, because he had other stuff up. But yeah, that was a pretty interesting pickup. But there's all the horror characters. I finally have them all, and very thankful to have them all finally. And one coming up soon, I may try to do a video of all my Gemmy collapsible characters, but I just don't know if I'll have the time for that. So that might be something to look out for in the future. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here. I do apologize for not being able to demo any of them, but if there's anything you want to see a demo of, you can leave a comment and I can upload that, or you can just go through my channel and find the video on it, because I've done videos on every single one of these characters. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, and thanks for watching. All right, sorry guys, I forgot I mentioned I would go downstairs and show the boxes. So I shouldn't have said I was gonna end the video there, because I'm gonna add this on the end. But got Jason's box, Freddy's box, Pinhead's box, Hannibal's box, Boris's, Jason, Original Freddy, Ghostface, Rob Zombie, H2O, and that brown box is Leatherface's, because he's the only one I do not have the original box for. But yeah, I mean, these original boxes are in pretty good shape. Hannibal's is pretty beat up, and 05 Freddy's is pretty beat up. But other than that, I mean, they're in pretty good shape. But yeah, I just wanted to add this quick little clip onto the end of the video to show off these boxes, because a lot of times you will see these for sale, but they won't have the boxes, or the boxes will be absolutely destroyed. And honestly, I gotta give Gemmy credit for these boxes, because they did a really good job with them, and a lot of them are really cool, especially like Boris's, and honestly my favorite might be Rob Zombie's. His is really cool. Yeah, and now I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. I just wanted to showcase these boxes, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here now. But thanks for watching.